huge back to school clothing haul, and if you guys love hauls, make sure you guys stay and let's get into the video. And this isn't half of it. I have so much more on my bed, but I'm really excited to show you guys. Actually a lot, so I think we're gonna start off with the Aritzia first. First bag is Hollister. I got this cami top. I got another one in this burgundy color. I got this brown cami top. I also got this other Henley top. Next bag is from Aritzia. I just got 5 packs of basic white socks. Next is Victoria's Secret. From Victoria's Secret, I ended up just getting 3 basic lip glosses. Pink Mimosa, Sugar High, Coconut Cream. Victoria's Secret again. I got 2 perfumes. I got Petal and Bare Vanilla. This is from Online Hollister. I got this basic brown and white Henley top. Really cute brown foldovers from Hollister. This black and gray basic Henley top. Lastly from Hollister, I ended up getting the twill jacket. This is really cute and I'm so excited to wear this. Next is from Brandy. Okay, so 2 things from Brandy. I got these pair of Dare shorts, and then I also got this necklace that reminds me of Just Add Water. It's a matching one with my friends, and I also got this really cute locket. Next is also from Brandy. I ended up getting 3 pairs of these really cute socks. I love those. And then I also got this really cute tank top. I just thought it was really cute. Next is from Aeropostale. Okay, the first thing I got in here is this really adorable top. I just thought it was really cute. I got a basic pair of low-rise jeans. I needed one in like this dark wash color, so I got this. I also got a pair from the Deja Clark collection. I'm not really sure if I want to keep these, but I thought they were really cute. Another bag from Aeropostale. So I just got 2 things in here. I got this really cute long sleeve with like this lace neckline, and then I also got a pair of low-rise sweatpants. Next from Journeys, I ended up getting just a pair of shoes. Actually wanting these for so long, so I'm really excited. Just got a pair of the Puma wedges. They're really cute, and I feel like they're gonna go with a lot of things. This is from Ulta. Just got a restock on my favorite Philosophy one, and then I also got the Fresh and Cream body wash to go with it. And I almost forgot about this, but they also gave me this really cute like bag charm. This is from Barnes & Noble. I actually can't say it, but it's this really cute book. If you guys know, you know. Next is actually a bunch of hygiene, so I'm just gonna do another video on this. Notice that all 3 of those bags are actually hygiene, so we have one more bag. Got this really cute notebook from Target. I just needed one for back to school, and I also got this really basic one, these highlighters, and then I also got these lead pencils, these pens. These are really good. And I also got a pair of these like erasers. These ones are really good. I love these ones. That is my back to school haul. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I love y'all so much. Bye guys.
Let's pack my freshman year of college backpack together as a pre-med major who loves everything back to school shopping. I feel like I know what I'm talking about because these are my favorite types of TikToks to watch. I have the North Face Borealis backpack, and it comes with 4 pockets. I'm going to use this as a little tech compartment and put my iPad. Okay, and then for this main pocket right here, the first thing that I'm going to add is a binder and a folder. The next thing that I'm going to add to my main pocket is something that keeps me going throughout the year, and if it's not cute, I don't get it done. So that is why I got the cutest planner ever. This one is from Live Well, and it comes with months and weeks. The last thing is this little random notebook for any note-taking that I need to do throughout the year. First thing I have is the Papermate Flare pens. I have the 24 count. I've never used these, so I'm really excited to use these. And look at the colors. I'm going to put all of them in my pencil pouch, and then if it overfills, I may just put some in my dorm. I don't know. The next thing going in my pencil pouch are the Papermate mechanical pencils. I ran through these in high school. I am so excited to use these. And I'm just going to put this in as well. So far, this is what she's looking like. The next thing are the big mechanical pencils. These are the pastel shades. I'm obsessed with these, but these, I'm only going in with maybe like 5. I don't think I need all of these in my pouch. And in they go as well. This is what I'm most excited for. Look at these colors. I had this pack of mod liners for 4 years back in high school. And, oh, well, no, I had the 15 pack. And now I got the 25. Look at these gorgeous colors. These are the ones that I chose for right now. In they go. I think this may be too filled, so I may give you guys an updated what's in my pencil pouch for if anybody's interested. I'm going to add my pencil pouch in this second little thing right here, and it should fill it up pretty well. Last thing is this little front pocket, and it's this deep, so I'm going to add 2 lip. I have the Laneige and the Dior. A little pocket hand sanitizer of spearmint gum. This is my favorite flavor ever. And 2 sticky notes as well. I also got this pink Stanley. It's super basic. I'm going to add her right in here. And this is her. I am actually so obsessed with my new backpack and all my new supplies. Thank you all so much for tagging along with me as I pack my college backpack.
Huge back to school haul. This Lululemon bag is filled with a bunch of clothes that I just bought, and this bag is filled with all of my school supplies that I haven't opened to show you guys. I'm gonna be starting with my backpack that I just got yesterday. It is so cute. It's this coral color and my nails are teal, so starting off with school supplies, the first thing thing that I have these notebooks that are really cute. First notebook that is in here is this light blue color. Then I have this 5-ruled one which has 5 sections for multiple classes. And in my pencil case, I have these 3 lead pencils that I chose because me and my sister bought this pencil case that came with like pencils, so I chose these 3. Came with lead, so really useful, and I'm going to be using this. And then I chose these 3 highlighters. And then I have this pack of pens that I got as a gift a while ago. I saved them so I could use it in this school year. And then I have this Awala, which is really cute, and it's a kind of like different style of water bottle, which I found really unique. It also matches with my backpack, so really cute. Now I'm going to show you guys all the essentials that I bought, like makeup, hair stuff, and everything like that. I had to restock on some deodorant, so I bought a 2-pack for me and my sister. And then for self-care, I also got these face masks, which I haven't tried yet. I've gotten this brand before and wonders. And then also these makeup sponges along with these hoops and this other jewelry. Then I got this sunscreen from Mexico that my family brought, which is going to be so handy. And then this hair mask that I haven't tried yet, which looks very different than my usual hair mask. Skin tint sunscreen, which I've used this, but mine was running out, so I got a new one. Then this Kosas lip gloss and this body spray. And these lashes that are amazing. Like, I love these so much. Then I got belly piercing jewelry, and it comes with a lot of them, which they were all so cute. And then the nail polish I'm wearing right now, which is a teal one, and I opened it already. And this base color, it's orange, like if you open it, but on, it looks really good. Time for all this clothes, which is so much. This really cute skirt from Ross, which, oh my gosh. And these jeans from Target, which are really cute denim. Thank you, Mom, again, like a million times, because she bought all of my clothes, all of my makeup, literally everything. And then I got this really cute halter top brown shirt. Love it. And the same one in navy blue. Oh my gosh, my hair's a mess. Again, such a cute color. And this red one, which, can we talk about the color? Same top in blue. So cute again. I love this like little hole that it has here. The same top but in white. And this green sweater, which I'm probably not going to be wearing right now. It's still so hot. But during fall, I mean, fall is literally coming up in like 2 weeks. Then this shirt, and this one is probably gonna be for like going out, because I don't know if I'm gonna wear that to school. Cute yellow top, which is like a different type of pattern. Literally stunning. It's black top, which is so cute, just like level up the outfit. And this one is literally one of my favorites because it's gonna match with my backpack, and it matches my nails so cute. Really cute polka dot one, like, and it's long, so it's like side long. I don't know how to explain it. Also, if you guys want to try and haul, let me know. I will be doing one. This cute tube top, which is always good to have a basic. These really cute pants. This one is a tie-on top. It's not tied, so stay tuned for the try-on haul. Cute top, like, bro, this is so cute. The top that has like a different pattern than all of the shirts, which I'm excited to try this one because it's like kind of different. This cute top with beads. I love this one, and this is giving summer vibes, but I'll definitely still be wearing it because it's still summer. Red halter top, which, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Can we? Literally such a cute color, and I feel like everything right now is matching with my nails, especially because it's like kind of bright colors, and I love bright colors so much. And this white like tie-on halter top, which again, really good to have a basic, and I don't have any more white shirts, so I'm glad I got them again. This gray halter top, which is similar to the red one, and this is, right now that I'm looking at it, it's so cute, like with some low-rise jeans. This really cute tube top, which again, I might be saving this for summer because maybe I might wear it towards the end of the school year because it's transitioning into summer. And this red halter top, which is literally my color. Can we talk about that? This top, which is also kind of like a going out top, really cute, and I love this. This top, which is like a kind of like a sage green, and it's a really different style, like a tie-on, and the pattern is also really cute, so I can't wait to wear this. And this like cute sporty top for maybe my lazy days with some leggings. But that is it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and happy back to school season, even though I know most of you guys started. But wish me luck for my first day of school. And again, thank you to my parents, my mom, my dad, my aunt, and everybody who got me stuff for this back to school year. I love you guys so much.
What's in my backpack for junior year? Okay, first things first, this is the Everywhere backpack in Glaze Pink from Lululemon. Okay, we're gonna start with the big pocket first. There's a big pocket and a small pocket. But first, on top, you see my pencil case. This is from Amazon. It just has all my pens, pencils, scissors, stuff like that. And then I have my little girl pouch in here. And then also they have a laptop slot, but my school iPad is charging, but I'll put my school iPad in there. Okay, next I have my 2 summer reads. We're going to discuss these in class, so I obviously need to bring them, but I probably won't carry them everywhere. I'll put one in my locker, one in my backpack, whichever one we're discussing. And then
This is my honors chem notebook. Not really sure why we needed this, but I got it from Amazon. She just told me to buy it, so I did. Okay, next I just have a 5-subject notebook because this is so much easier than just doing like 10 regular notebooks. Like that takes up so much space. So I just got a little 5-subject notebook, and I'm pretty sure that's like gonna be more than enough because I already have that for honors chem, and then I don't really need notebooks for some of my other classes. And then I have 3 folders, and the notebook has folders in it, so I don't even know if I'm gonna need these, but I have 2 pink and 1 white. Next up is my planner from Amazon. I highly suggest getting a planner. I literally write everything down in here, and if I literally don't know what I would do without my planner. Like, I would forget so much stuff if I didn't have this. But yeah, I always get my planners from Amazon. They're pretty cheap, and they're really cute, and they do the job. Okay, next I have this empty 2-inch binder. Our math teachers make their own textbooks, so we just put it into a binder, so I need one for that. Okay, next, actually I'll do the side pockets last. Next is this mini pocket. First I have a hairbrush, just a mini one, some Aquaphor, my calculator. This is a little pencil pouch with colored pencils. Oops. Anyways, colored pencils and markers. Okay, next I have my school IDs. I just have an extra one. There's my photo. Oh, it's so bad. Anyways, I just keep my extra one in case I lose it. And I have a hair tie and birthday cake. Summer Fridays. This is a hand mask. I just use it as lotion though, like hand lotion, because it works the same. Then some hand sanitizer, a mini Aquaphor, and a Marion pin. I'm gonna take that out of my backpack. Okay, that's everything for the small pocket. Now, in my pouch, or my side pouch thingy, I have this pouch from Target, I think. One of my friends got it for me. I have a nail buffer, some mascara, and a Tweezerman eyelash curler. I'm gonna take the mascara out because I don't really want it in there. Then I have this perfume, just in case. Then some deodorant, again, just in case. Glossier Cloud Paint, and this oil roller. I also have my calculator charger in here and a spoolie. But yeah. I'm also going to take this nail buffer out because it's really crusty. Okay, in my other side pocket, I don't have too much going on. I just have these index cards, and this is so cute. Wait, if I can even get it out. My backpack's like stuffed. These little Nebraska tear-off sheets, and I think they're so cute. I got these from Four Sisters. They're Tailgate, but that's the brand. That's it for my backpack. The lunchbox I'm using is just the one from last year. It's just the Vera Bradley lunchbox that like everyone has. But yeah, if you guys have any tips for junior year, let me know because I'm really nervous because I keep hearing people say a lot of bad things about it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.
Back to school haul. Starting from what I got from Lululemon, it's just my backpack that I'm gonna have for probably the next 2 years. It's just a black one. And then from Sephora, I just got a refill of the glazing milk. And then I wanted to try out the Tower 28 concealer. And then I'll do school supplies. My notebooks from Target, I got this blue one, this like green composition notebook, and this yellow one. And then I got this little hand sanitizer and gum. Got 3 index card packs, a mini brush for my backpack. I also got a Tide pen for my backpack because I'd be spilling stuff. And then from TJ Maxx, I got these highlighters. From Target, I got these gel pens and these mechanical pencils. And then I got this pencil pouch from TJ Maxx. Okay, now clothes. First from TJ Maxx, I got this little workout set. It's cute with leggings. And then from Brandy, I got these Priscilla pants that are just gray because I have like every other color but those. And then I got this, I don't know what, I forget the name of the style, but just this top. And then I got this red top from, I think, yeah, I went to Plato's Closet. And then I got this cute like striped sweater, this black long sleeve, it's from Brandy.
I got this, actually it's backwards, this blue Lululemon athletic dress. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Guys, classes start on Monday and I start my new job tomorrow. Let's go shopping at the mall to get a cute new purse that I've been eyeing out. I really want her. They have her in stock. One of the brown one, but they only have it in navy, so I'm gonna have to go get the navy one.
Bulletproof black truck, I president.
Let's go. So of course, as soon as I pull up to the mall, it's raining. You can see all over my face. I hate running errands in the rain. And I put on flip-flops. As soon as I walked into that mall, I saw a skin. And then looked at the tag and said maybe Anyways, not. I'm on the hunt for the long shop. I wanted the size medium, but realistically, with my laptop and everything fitting in it for school, I'm gonna need the large. Y'all see that brown bag? That's the one I want. But it was sold out in the style that I needed. If you're a true follower, then you know I'm a shopaholic. I went to Victoria's Secret in search of the trendy lace bra. I found her. She was cute. But be proud of me, guys, because I didn't get it. Next was Garage. Yes, I know I just left working there, but I had $15 off and I didn't end up using it. I think I'm gonna wait till the next color drop to use it. And then I found my pride and joy. Something told me don't even step foot in Aloe, because every time I go in something that I want. So we bought her. I'm really proud of myself this summer because I haven't spent that much on clothes. Anyway, haul's up now. Bye.
Hi guys, that's my back to school haul. I'm gonna start off with saying that I'm so grateful with everything that I got. I already bought my school supplies, so it's mostly clothing and stuff like that. First is Sephora. I bought Road Glazing Milk. I've been wanting that for so long and I finally bought it. Then Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, these eye patches, and the Ordinary serum because my skin is so freaking dry. Then is La Visa. I bought the earrings because I need new ones because the ones from Target are already silver and not gold. So then I bought this necklace. It was $3 and it's 666 and it's my angel number. And then the Scorpio one, it was $4 too. It was on sale because I'm a Scorpio. Then Victoria's Secret. I only bought black bra, so. Then Erie, I don't know how to pronounce it. Aerie. Just regular sweatpants, the gray ones. And this cute t-shirt. My friend always told me that I look like a black cat with dark hair, and it's about a black cat. So then Aritzia, I only bought one gray long sleeve because I felt so nice in it. Then in Barnes and Nobles, I bought this water bottle. Don't mind the Starbucks. Then in Aeropostale, I bought one gray hoodie, but oh my god, it's so freaking heavy. But it's just gray hoodie. It's nothing special about it. Then in PacSun, well, I bought this shorts from Brandy Melville. I'm not planning on wearing them to school, maybe under jeans, but we'll see. This hoodie, it looks so nice. And two pair of jeans is one is light wash and second one is brown. Comment if you want me to do try on haul, but for now that's it. Thank you for watching and love ya. Bye bye.
Shopping Haul. Ich war gerade mit einer Freundin in der Stadt und wir haben ein bisschen Back to School geschafft, deswegen wollte ich euch jetzt zeigen, was ich da alles gefunden habe. Als erstes waren wir bei Sustrine Kräne und da habe ich einmal diesen wunderschönen Beutel gefunden mit diesem Muster. Ich fand den so schön und die Farbe, oh mein Gott. Dann einmal diese Knäckis, das sind zwar so Fake-Knäckis, aber da kostet dieser ganze Pack irgendwie 2,14 € und ich finde die Farben so schön, oh mein Gott. Dann diesen wunderschönen Planer, das ist so ein Wochenplaner, einfach wie so ein Hausaufgabenheft, das fand ich auch so schön, das Muster. Und dann waren wir bei Müller und da habe ich diesen wunderschönen Ordner gesehen. Also ich habe mich so in die Farbe verliebt, oh mein Gott, wie cool. Und dann war ich noch in der Schmuckabteilung bei Müller und die haben ja gerade so schöne Ohrringe. Also das wusste ich gar nicht. Aber da habe ich einmal diese hier entdeckt. Die fand ich so schön, die Farbe. Oh mein Gott. Dann einmal die da, in dem Rosa. Fand ich auch so cool. Und dann zum Schluss noch solche Hängeohrringe. Die wollte ich auch schon so lange. Die habe ich einfach gefunden. Oh mein Gott. Und das war's auch schon.
I have a massive back to school haul.
Okay. Okay, my phone's on charge and I hope it doesn't fall over because it'll really annoy me. So they're my tights, but I'm not showing you my uniform because that's just not important. Okay, starting off with Zara. I just got this perfume. Oh my god, I literally love this perfume so much. It's the Red Zara Temptation and Tobacco. Oh my god, it's so good. But I literally got through it like there's no tomorrow. I think my other bottle lasted me 3 weeks. And that's not very good. I don't even think it lasted 3 weeks. I think it lasted I don't know. They didn't last long at all though. But this honestly smells unreal. It's so nice. Because I like the normal Zara Red Temptation, but this one with tobacco it's perfect. Next are my school shoes. So I've literally had the same like type of school shoe since year 7, and everyone in my school wears these shoes. Like everybody, like there'll be the odd people that wear like slip-ons and stuff, but most people wear these kickers. Now moving on to my bags. I got 2 because I couldn't choose. So first bag is this black one. This one is quite small, like it is quite a small bag to say that I'm going to be taking like so many books to school and stuff, but I'm not going to be taking so much every single day. So when I'm not taking that much to school, I can just take this smaller one. And then this is my big bag, and I went for a brown colour. Oh, it's so nice. It's just so nice. It can fit more stuff in it. And they were from H&M. I was contemplating whether to get another Longchamp bag because, oh, I love my Longchamp bag so much. It lasted me 2 years, I think. But I feel like just everyone has them now. And especially this one. That'll be good for like, even when I'm just not at school and stuff. I just think they're so cute. This is all stationery. Like, I couldn't stop. I was literally picking up nearly everything I saw. So, I got these popper wallets because this year I'm proper locking in. Gonna get really organised, and school will give you these at some point anyway, but like just to keep revision stuff, I just thought these would be good because I'll find myself needing them and I won't have any, so I had to get them. And then I was just gonna get 1 book for like homework and revision and stuff, but one was £4, but then you could have got 2 for £5, so I just got 2. I don't need 2, but basically this one was only £1, so I just got it anyway. And then school also do give us these, but they don't give us them like until later on. So I've got some revision cards, and then I got some rubber bands to keep all my revision cards together because I've already got like so many revision cards that are all over the place, so I need to sort through them at some point. Moving on to highlighters, I just got these neon ones, and then I got these ones as well, which are so cute. I got these colourful pens for like cute notes. I'm in this mindset to have like really neat and like cute notes and stuff, but I won't stick to it, I never do. But I haven't bought any black pens because I found loads of black pens that I've never even opened. I also got these pencils because they had rubbers on the end and they were nice colours. And then I got this, it's a bendy one so you can print half and stuff. I got this one that's blue, and I probably only needed this one because obviously you can bend it in half and just use it for 15. But I really liked this colour as well, so I got 2 just for the colours. There was plain clear ones, but I got a new calculator. Let's unbox it. Oh my god, that is so cute. Wait. This is making me want to get really good at math. Wait, why is it so cute? Oh, that is so nice. My math tutor is going to be so pleased with me. How nice is that though? And then I've got some Tipp-Ex. I need to practice how to use it though because I can't seem to use this type of Tipp-Ex. Like it just goes so wrong. But I've got 3 so I can use one to practice. It was going to take time out of the day to practice using it. And then I just got a sharpener. And then this is my pencil case. I think that's it. Bye guys!
Here's everything I bought as someone's trying to build more of a capsule wardrobe. So starting off with Cotton On, I feel like they have such good basics. And I've been really wanting these like 3/4 length sleeves, and this one has such a cute v-neck that's like glowing in the light. But I got it in white, and then I also got it in black. I feel like it's such a good transitional piece into the fall too, so I'm really excited about those ones. And then I got this black v-neck tank. It just fits so good, and I feel like I have literally thousands and thousands of black tanks, but they all serve a different purpose, and I just really like the way this one fits. And then I got this black t-shirt. I'm actually wearing a Cotton On t-shirt right now, and it's the same one. I just got it in a bigger style so I can kind of wear it with like a little mini skirt and it peek out a little bit, and they just feel and fit so good. So I knew if I bought another one I would wear it, so got one of those in black. And then of course I had to get it in white as well. Kind of a common theme with my shopping, everything is like white or black, but That's what I like. And then also from Cotton On, oops, I got these black pants with the tie that goes like all the way around the waist and ties on the side. I've seen these a couple times from a couple different places, and I've seen the cotton ones. I wanted to try them on, but I didn't. And then the fact that I was still thinking about it when I went to the mall, I was like, okay, I need to try them on, and I absolutely love how they fit. So I'm really excited about these, and I feel like it'll be super cute with the black v-neck tank. Okay, next up, Brandy. Okay, so first thing I got from Brandy, again, kind of shopping for transitional pieces, and then also it just kind of gets cold in classrooms and school's about to start. I got this white sweater. I just needed a new white fresh sweater, so I really like that one. And then I have this cute little navy linen dress, which is actually from the St. George brand. It fits so good. I might wear this one on the first day of school, and I feel like that could be kind of cute with a sweater as well. And then I got this gray pleated skirt, just super cute. And I love a little mini skirt that's like knit. I feel like it's, again, such a good transitional piece. And then I also got it in black. And then this one I had never seen before at any of their stores, so I was really excited about this one. It's like a corduroy like skirt with buttons on the side, but it's not like a thick corduroy, like it's pretty thin, which I also love. And then I got the Priscillas with the stripes on them. I own these Priscillas in like every single color, but the stripes are just so cute, and a cute little touch of navy. And then last thing I got was this black long sleeve off shoulder dress. I have the same top, like the same style as this, as a top in like 4 different colors, so I just feel like I had to get the dress too. And then the last thing I got, I stopped at Zara really briefly because I know they were having their big summer sale, and I wasn't really expecting to find anything, but I tried on this dress. Super cute. It has like a nice flowy bottom and then a halter tie. But I tried this on, and then I wasn't like super set on it, honestly, but then I put it in the bin because it didn't have a tag on it, and then it rang it up as $15, so I had to buy it. And that is everything I got.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do what's in my backpack for 2026 and 2027 school year. Okay, so you see here I have a pink Nike Elite. I don't know where I bought it because my dad's the one that bought it for me, because I told him that I wanted this backpack. And it doesn't matter if you don't do sports, like literally just get the backpack if you want it, but like this backpack is a good backpack. It's like really good. Okay, let's get into it because I know y'all like just wondering. Okay, so here I got my Stanley. I bedazzled the top. I haven't finished here because I want to do it later, but I bedazzled the top, and I'll do the rest of the lid later. Got it from Stanley. And I have a Lululemon keychain here. Yeah, Lululemon keychain. From here I have is, it's gonna be like my key card. Like I'm gonna get my key card, but like it's not gonna be with this. It's like my wallet I take to school every single day. And then I'm gonna have an umbrella for when like I have to walk to the bus stop every single day, and like some days it'll be raining, of course, so I have my umbrella there. Okay, so we're going to do like here, the top of this here. Okay, so in here I have my hairbrush, power bank, I have my mirror, lotion, and my phone and like lip gloss that I'm gonna wear, and like extra stuff is gonna go in here later. And then back here I have is the laptop compartment in here. Laptop compartment. I have my period kit where it's just full of pads and liners and wipes so I can clean, you know. And then I'm gonna have my laptop charger here, and then my laptop here, but you know I don't get that till when school starts, so I have to wait until school starts. Now is the main compartment. This backpack is very spacious, like it's actually so good. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let me show you what's inside. Okay, so first I have my pencil bag that's from Lululemon. In here is just like, it's just highlighters, X markers, pens, pencils, and Sharpies. And then in this pocket it's just, I have pencils that I'll use throughout the school year. And then in here I have my emergency kit. I have tissue, used perfume,
spray deodorant, I have lip gloss, used hand sanitizer, and some wet ones. And I also have some Tylenol because I don't know if my school uses Tylenol, like they give out Tylenol, because I just came from a private school and they give us Tylenol, so I just gonna use this if they don't give us Tylenol. Okay, now for school supplies, I have, I think, how many folders is this? I have 5 folders. I probably don't need this much, but literally it said I needed like 4, and I got extra one for a homework folder, so I don't put everything in, like, you know. Okay, so I have my planner for the school year. I recommend buying a planner. It actually helped me last year, and since I'm doing sports again this year, this is really a need. And I have 3 competition notebooks. I have blue or teal, pink, and purple. And I got paper, 1 package, and then I got 1 notebook because they said that we don't really need notebooks, and I already bought 3 competition notebooks. And I just bought a notebook because I love taking notes, and if I ran out of paper, I can just use my notebook paper. So yeah. And I got it in blue because blue is my favorite color. And yeah. And hold up, don't leave yet. In here, I just have my calculator, and I have extra pens, and I have tape, and I think I have pencils if I don't want to go in my backpack for pencils. Yeah. But anyways, that is it for what's my backpack. Back to school haul is coming soon, and if I didn't say this name, I got Nike Leave. I didn't say, and it's in pink, of course. And I was gonna get blue, but like I still had to get pink instead because like it was just cute. Like it shows out, and like I hope y'all have an amazing day. And whoever starts school soon, I pray for you. I don't start till August 13th, so comment down below if you stayed all the way to the end. Tell me what day you go back to school, and stay tuned for my back to school haul where it's my clothes. So bye guys, have a great day.
Pack my bag with me. Okay, so we actually just went school supply shopping, and I'm gonna show you guys everything and how I placed it in my JanSport backpack. Okay, so my backpack is empty. 2 folders, so I'm gonna put these first. Okay, so that's in. Okay, I'm gonna put my white binder that I got. I'm gonna put stickers in here, but I don't have them yet, so I'm gonna put in these spiral notebooks. 1 is 5 subject, and then the rest of them are 1 subject. Okay, so those are in. This is how it's looking like so far. Do you guys think I should move the folders like in front of the binder? Let's see how it looks like in front of the binder because obviously it looks better like that. Yeah, I like that better. Now we're gonna be putting these cute notebooks. Okay, we're gonna pick up the stickers off of them, but I'm gonna show you guys what I have first. So first I have this cute blue notebook. This other one, this is the same color. Then 2 of these like teal colors, and then seashell. Let's go seashell. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how it looks like. This is how it's looking like so far. The last thing I have is this cute planner, and I'm gonna put this right here. Okay, I actually lied. That's not the last thing. I have my pencil case, and I'm just gonna put this like right here, and it's gonna close like that. And I also have my back to school emergency kit and like all my perfumes and all that stuff. But I don't put that stuff until like the day before the first day of school. This is the bag I'm gonna be using for my emergency kit. This is from First Aid. And I haven't got any of this stuff yet, but I'm gonna get gum, a mini hairbrush, lotions, and just all that supplies. Other than that, I'm done packing my backpack. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Hi guys, this is what's in my backpack for my freshman year. Okay, so this is my backpack. It's just this black backpack from Lululemon. Okay, so for my water bottle, I just got this Sawala. I love the color combo, and I also like how it has a handle. But there's nothing in the other pocket, but I'm sure there'll be stuff in there eventually. Okay, but there is stuff in this front pouch, so there's basically just random stuff in here, but this is my little AirPods case that has my AirPods in it. Then I just have this little Laneige lip balm, a big pack of gum, my bottle of Aquaphor that I've had for like 2 school years, and I have my schedule in paper form, but I'm just going to keep it in here because I can just look at it on my phone. Okay, now for the big pocket. Okay, this is what it looks like from the inside. Okay, so first in the back, I have just a body spray, which will be good for cheering weights. I always just keep a big deodorant in my backpack, and my hairbrush. Okay, but for supplies, I just got the same thing for each semester.
Okay, so I got 3 folders. Okay, so I got this white 5-star one, this folder which has cute little flowers on it, and this blue 5-star folder. Okay, and then I just got a 3-subject notebook so that I don't have to have 3 different notebooks in my backpack. For second semester, I just got a white one of these. Okay, this is my pencil pouch. It's from Shein. This is what it looks like from the inside. Okay, so first, I just have my calculator that I've had all through middle school, because we never really used it because we use our online calculators. But just in case our teacher wants us to have a calculator, I have one. Next, I just have these flower scissors. Okay, I have a bunch of different black pens. Okay, then I just got a 25-pack of these mechanical pencils. Okay, then I just have all of these Sharpie highlighters because I love my notes to be like pretty and colorful. Okay, then I just got 2 glue sticks. Next is my emergency kit. It's also from Shein. Okay, but in this first pouch, I just have panty liners and tampons. Okay, but in the main compartment, I have this EOS hand lotion, this like dupe of the Touch Hand hand sanitizer, and it smells exactly like the Sol de Janeiro one, a mini secret deodorant, a Tide pen, makeup touch-ups, dry shampoo, hair ties, a little thing of Advil, and then just an extra pair of earrings in case I forget some. Okay guys, but that is all that I have in my backpack for my freshman year, and I hope y'all have an amazing school year. Bye!
This is part 1 of my 2026-2027 back to school haul, and this is a lot of stuff. So this is part 1. This is a lot of stuff. This is like $250 worth of Shein. I got some stuff from Lulu. I got some stuff from Fashion Nova. And I have more stuff coming, and it's a lot of shoes. So yeah, I want to start with saying I'm thankful for everything I have. This is some of my money, both of my parents' money. So I want to say thank you to them and sit back, get a snack, because this is a lot of stuff. Let's start. Okay, to start off from Lulu, I got this new pink Lulu jacket. I'm not sure what pink this is, but it's very cute. I got it as soon as it dropped because I was trying to do all my back to school haul together, but I'm very impatient. These are from Fashion Nova. These are some low-rise straight leg jeans, something for like an acid wash. This is another pair of pants from Fashion Nova. These are capris. And they're like this dark, they're like really dark, and they have all of this like little straps on them. I think these are really cute, and I feel like I can style them really cute. My boyfriend told me he didn't like them, but good. Okay, now for shoes. I have one more pair of shoes that I'm probably gonna no. I actually have like a couple of sandals and one more pair of like actual shoes. Anyways, like I said, a couple of pair of sandals that I want to get before I go back. This is what I said. I bought these cute pink Birkenstocks from Coach. I think these are really cute. And my favorite color is pink, so as soon as we get to clothes, y'all are gonna see that for sure. But I also have, I didn't buy these this year, but I don't even think I wore them last year. I got those 2 different Puma speed casts that everybody's getting. I probably won't be wearing those that much because I like to get stuff from like not everybody wearing them, which I'm probably get them. I got these tennis shoes to match with my boyfriend because he has them, and I do not have a pair of just plain black tennis shoes. And I really needed those because I have some of pairs of white and black and like other colors, not those. I also got these, and my boyfriend's supposed to get these to match. And even if he doesn't get them, I think that these are just so cute. I got these like brown bandana print dunks, and like they're actually textured and they're actually so cute to me. Okay, let's start with actual just regular clothing. I got this black 2-piece. They're just like this cute little, where's the top of it? It's just like a little t-shirt. I have this exact same set in red, but I wanted it in black. And they're just like these loose like pants. Just a cute little 2-piece. And then I'm pretty sure that this is a 2-piece set too. Yes, it is. This is a cute like little workout set. Pink. Actually so cute. And then the shorts to go with it. I was thinking where this was kind of short. But I was thinking wear that with the Lulu top. I feel like that would be really cute. And I ordered an Alo set. That should be in the next haul. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure this is just a top. Yes, this is a top with the built-in bra. It's just a regular little pink top. Oh, cute, okay. And then I have a 2-piece set that I have yet to wear. That's the exact same like stripes and everything is this. But this is a cute little. I think it goes this way. This is a cute little off the shoulder like top. I think it's just gonna be cute. I've probably said cute little like 100 times in this video so far, but you know, who cares? This is just a black little, let me see, which way does it go? A black little top and it crosses in the back, just regular basic tops. I tried to get a lot of basics top this year because I didn't have a lot last year, and you can really play basics with like anything. You can really build an outfit off of those. And this shirt I low-key felt like looked cuter online, but it should still be cute. It's this like floral pink top, and I got some linen pants, some like linen pants to go with it. And I feel like those with I ordered another pair of shoes, but they were too big, so I had to send them back. So they will also be the next thing. I bought some pink ballet flats, the Puma ones. Those would probably be cute with that outfit, I'm assuming. And then I got these little fold over flare leggings. They're striped white. Really cute. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is pink because it's my favorite color. This is this. Oh, just a cute little top, you know, that you don't really like dressing up. Put a pair of little leggings on with this. Call it a day. I tried to get a lot of comfy clothes this year because I like to be cute without like putting in effort all the time because I have practice at 6:30 in the morning every day. Sometimes I'm just not gonna feel like it. I got this America's Sweetheart top. Really cute, really cute. I don't really like this top that I bought, but I bought it, so it's fine. It's this like cheetah print. I don't think I mess with it. I might get this to my best friend. But yeah, it's alright. I feel like overall maybe. Okay, this is the last bag of bags before we get to just some stuff I got from Ulta. I also woke up just a while ago, so disclaimer for how I look. I probably should have put that in the movies. But this is just a cute, like, I don't really know what type of stuff you call it. Like a, not a polo, but like, see, it's a nice little dress up top. It's supposed to, and then, and I got some little black, little like business kind of pants to go with them. I thought that would be cute. And then I got this brown top because I did get those dunks. I need a little stuff that's brown to go with it. I got this cute little baby tee. I think that's a baby tee. Don't add me on that. Iconic little top because that's the queen. Anyways, I got this little cute cheetah print pink little one too. I think this is actually one of the cutest things ever. Like, I'm actually addicted to that top. So you can shape the form. Okay, I got these cute little athletic capri pants because I thought this with a nice little like black aligned top with a black Lulu would be actually good. Oh, I love these pants. Like, I love these so much. These were like one of the first things that I set my eyes on for the school year. These are so cute. Like, I love cheetah print if y'all can't tell. I love pink. Like, again, I already know how I feel about that top, so I'm not even gonna disgrace y'all's those situations. Okay, this is a little, you get a little one too. Cute, cute, cute. Put a nice little pair of jeans. Finally, last thing I told you this was gonna be long. I am 7 minutes into this video. I hope y'all are still watching. Actually, so long. Okay, I bought this same top in pink last year, and I realized that I wanted it in black. So there we go. And then, finally, last but not least, I got this stuff that I got from Ulta. Just a little bit. I didn't get that much. This is daily like face cleansing spray. It's called hypochloric acid. I think it's called. Just like the stuff that you spray on your face and like gets all the bacteria. Because I have practice in the morning and I have practice in fifth period, and I don't want to. Yeah, it's just not what I'm trying to do. This is just the serum that I needed because I ran out. This is Black Girl Sunscreen because if y'all know I'm on drill team and I'm in the sun a lot and I don't want to be sunburned. And then I got this little eyebrow pencil from NYX because I got this, but I just wasn't really rocking with it like that. So I went back to my first one. And then I got this e.l.f. lip liner. That's it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. See y'all next time.
Hey y'all, this is what's my backpack for the 2026-2027 school year. Okay, yes, I know it's like the middle of July, but I don't give a shit. Anyway, this is my backpack. It's the North Face Borealis in pink. And then for a lunchbox, I got this because I got my braces off, so I'm gonna have to be wearing my dang retainer. So yeah, and then I also got this green water bottle. I don't know why I like green and pink so much, as we can tell, pink and green and green, but it's whatever. But anyway, my backpack, the top of it has a claw clip for, I don't know, my hair. Right here, oh, this pocket is gonna have gum, my phone, and I don't know really what else, maybe a lip gloss or something. I haven't really finished that, obviously. I'm not finished with some of this stuff because there's my binder shipping, but I have like an old binder in here because I was trying to see if it fit and I just never took it out. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in until I get my new binder. But this pocket has the mini Tangle teaser brush. It has blue in it because I kind of like dyed my hair and there's got some blue in it, so yeah. And also my sister dyed her friend's hair and got hair dye in it, which pissed me off, but it's whatever. Body lotion. Also might have an emergency kit, or I might just put my stuff that I need really in here because whatever. Deodorant for, because I do sports, and also because like after PE and stuff. Yeah, I got this that has money in it, and also since there's like a mirror in it, yeah. I also have hair ties. I have 3 of them in there. They're just at the bottom, so. And this perfume was out, so I'm gonna have to get a new one, which I'm glad because like I like that perfume. It's just I think a new one. I had this perfume for who knows how long. And then here is just school supplies. 4 pens, 2 pencils, and 2 highlighters. But I have 2 different types of pens, so. And then this big pocket has my school supplies. First, my pencil case. It's really adorable. It's like pink and gold, and it's fluffy. It's like so adorable. Like, bro, what? I'm so glad I saw this, but because usually I have like one that has multiple compartments, and honestly, this one probably just I want to be organized, but I don't want to be like crazy like that because that just ended up with trash and all that. I'm trying to be organized and not like ridiculous this year, so hopefully that works out. You know what's in here? I have 1 dry erase marker, and I do not need this for school. I'm just using it to draw on my hand because I use those to draw on my hand, especially pens. I have these types of pens. I have like these ones and also these ones in a bunch of different colors because I like making notes, and I love making them so cute. I also did not need scissors, but I like cutting, me and my friend like cutting paper in class whenever we're bored, so I just got whatever scissors. But I did not want no freaking teal sparkly ones. Well, I wanted teal, but I didn't want a sparkly, but you know, it's whatever, because they work fine. And then glue that I don't need either, but I wanted it because I could make I like make slime with it. Okay, I wanted to get the pastel mechanical pencils, but I didn't have those. But it's okay, I'm still gonna order those because I will get some money some way and somehow, and I'll just order those for myself, and then I'll have like a bunch of pencils because I lose pencils. And then also these because these little things don't even last, and honestly I make big mistakes. I think that's all. Oh, and then midliners, just like in a bunch of different colors, you know. I had to share dang midliners with my sister also. That's why I was like, bro, what? Because last year I used the whole pack. So, right again, find money some way, somehow, buying myself them, because I know I will be able to. And then also, oh shoot, my, what's it called, my planner, get this shit out, cow print, so adorable, like, I'm literally obsessed, because the covers for these, for like each month, and cow print. It's so adorable. Okay, and then, so I'm trying to take this out. What? Okay, so, that was my sister talking, but for notebooks, I have this pink one, and then me and my friends have an inside joke with Snoopy's. Yeah, or whatever it's called, Peanut. I don't even know, really. I watched that show as a kid. It was just funny stuff. So, and then 2 things of paper. Just regular paper. These dividers, hold on.
for my binder, and then I have my old binder. And I think I was saying binder, old binder though, yeah. But because my new one, I'm gonna actually put this one in, my new one in whenever it gets here, and take out this one. But for right now, that's just in there. Okay. And also in the very back, we don't carry around laptops at school, so. So in this back pocket, I have, right here. I have 2 folders. I have a white one and it's like flowers one, I guess. And that's it for my what's in my backpack. And I'll obviously be adding stuff in it, like makeup, like extra makeup, I guess, or whatever, and stuff like that. But anyway, bye.